All right, we're ready to get this thing fired up. Um, let's go ahead and open up questions. Percy, why don't you kick us off and then we'll.
Awesome. Hey, Coach, how are you doing?
Not too bad. You?
Good, good, fantastic. It's a miserable day here, but it's just like Seattle. Hey, curious about just your thoughts on Indiana since the last time you saw them. Obviously, you had a chance to scout them lately. For everybody can see the record, but are you seeing anything more than what their record is?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of lineup changes. Trying to think, find some consistency in what they're doing on the floor. Still pushing the pace. Playing in transition. Caitlin, making plays. She's had some big plays the last few games and getting to her spots. Aaliyah is playing at a high level, and I think they're being more mindful of giving her the ball and in her sweet spot. So, I mean, it's still early, but you could definitely see some growth in a change.
The last time you played them, you really guys really held Aaliyah Boston to a low number. Forget what it was, but it was under 10 definitely. Just what were you guys able to do so well in that first game?
You know, NECA was super efficient, just attacking her with ball screens or in isolated situations if possible. I thought that that game in particular, I feel like our offense was uh, decently moving the ball. Just kind of trying to put her in situations where she has to defend constantly on the floor, and then being physical with her on the other end, not allowing her to duck in, not allowing her to get in transition and get to the areas where she's really, really efficient in. So meeting and matching her physicality was a point of emphasis last game, and it will still be today.
And then specifically on Clark, just eight games in, so much is kind of on her shoulders. What are you seeing specifically from her?
Yeah, she's adjusting to a level of physicality that she hadn't seen as much in college. And I think I talk about this all the time, her passing ability. She's finding ways to fight the aggressiveness with using her IQ and her skill set to find her teammates. She's always going to remain confident, I feel like, as just watching her in college and watching her first few games and knowing that her shots are going to be there. She's going to hunt them. She's going to hunt them from the 3-point line. She's going to continue to put pressure at the rim. And I think through it all, she's just finding ways to continue to play her game.
And then the last thing from like me here, things they think you guys need to do tonight to like get this one would be what?
Yeah, offensively, we have to get in transition. They're not a good transition defensive team. The way in which they're matched up, I talked about this last time. Just they're still trying to find their connectivity on defense, and we have to take advantage of that, and that includes taking care of the ball. Obviously, that's been our Achilles heel this early in this season. Defensively, we have to make sure we're so locked in on the scout. Whether it is Caitlin, whether it is Smith, whether it is Boston, just making sure we're tight on our schemes and not losing sight of, her, Caitlin specifically, especially in transition where she's a little bit more loose and free. We have to continue to rebound at a high level on both ends. Indy's going to give us some opportunities to offensive rebound. So we have to make sure we're sharp and efficient on that end of the floor. And then defensively, just making sure we're limiting them to one shot attempt per possession.
Yep, there you go. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Percy. We'll go to Jeff Brown and then Lindsay. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, Percy covered just almost everything I was going to ask. But one more, I guess, would be Temi Bentley has been a great player for them so far this season, but unfortunately, it looks like she's out injured. What are they going to be kind of missing out without having her?
Just some activity some speed and some pace. You see the way in which she runs the floor tremendously. She works very hard on both ends, and I think just a level of the level that she plays at gives them some life, in my opinion, at that position to be able to run the floor hard and get easy buckets, but also stretch the floor. Also, what she does defensively, taking on the matchups that she does. She's just been solid in all facets of the game.
And then last one for me, I think Skylar had really struggled in the last game against Indiana, but it was also, I think, your guys' fourth game in 6 days in 4 different cities. Obviously, she played fantastic against Chicago. What are kind of the keys to having Skylar find success tonight?
Starting early, playing her game, being aggressive. She has the assignment of Clark, and so she has to be mindful on the defensive end of again, her scout and her coverages and being locked in on that. But on the flip side of that is that they have to guard her too. So whether it is in transition or ball screens or assisting, to me, she's just finding that comfort early and playing her game.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck.
Thanks, Jeff. Let's go to Lindsay and then Christian. Lindsay, go ahead.
Hey, Noelle, this game features two of the best rebounding guards in the league in Jewel and Caitlin, statistically. First of all, like, why do you think that each of them is such a good rebounder? I know Jewel is very strong, but I think a lot of it is also her IQ and her ability to read the ball off the rim.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's just their want to. As guards, sometimes we reap the benefits of post doing the dirty work and boxing out in there, and we kind of get those ones. But I think Jewel is really pursuing the basketball. She's had I think a double-digit rebounding game this season already. It's just the want to, and knowing that one of our keys is always to gang rebound. We don't leave it on the onus of like one or two players or our post players. It is a group effort, and I think she's very conscious of holding down the fort or holding her own as it relates to that side of the ball. Caitlin, she's a big guard. 6 feet. You're in there a lot, and your ability to get hands on balls and get the rebound off the glass and push it, that's like a guard's dream. So it's just want to, and not just, but a main part of that is the want to and the heart to go get those rebounds.
And then you touched on it a little bit, but how much does that help, like having a guard that you can just instantly transition to offense and get into early offense?
Yeah, jump starts our offense, whether it's a drag or a kick ahead. It's in the guard's hands. But and not just guards for us. You looked at what Ezzy did the other day in Chicago, her ability to rebound and push. We like the versatility of all of our athletes on the court to have the ability to jumpstart our transition offense. And when it's the guard, it's just easier. They can get, they can get the quick strike a little bit early because the ball's already in their hands.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Of course.
Well, thanks, Lindsay. And let's go to Christian and then Brendan.
Hey, Coach, hope you're doing well. Over the last 2 games, Skylar's averaging 18.5 points, 6 assists, 1.5 steals, but the efficiency of 61% from the field and 57% from three, that's really just popping out at me, especially the films I've been watching. I was wondering, what have you seen that's different over the last 2 games besides the start of the season? And also any conversation that you've had with Skylar throughout the process of, games that weren't exactly the greatest. And now that, we're seeing, she said herself, 5 to 7 games, you're going to start seeing, basically the old version of her when she's on the court. Just wonder, what do those conversations look like between you two?
I think with the shooting, she's really been working on her footwork with it. And I think Marcus and her have been doing a good job of day to day, just really focused on her feet were a little bit different when she came here. So she's adjusting to that. And I think she's found some comfort in it. And that's not easy to do for a player, to tweak something at the top of the season. So I think she feels it, she likes it, she's comfortable with it, and she's found some success with it, and it's showing in her numbers. The other thing is, just her getting comfortable to a new system and a new team, new teammates, and finding spots where she can be successful. A lot of the early looks that she was getting were good looks, just weren't falling. But that comes with comfort, that comes with game pace and speed and game reps. So she's doing a great job of just staying the course and being patient and really, really doing the work to make sure the game feels good to her. And then, our conversations are coach, player, you know, very spirited at times.
I'm sorry, no more family business, you know.
No more family. Can't tell all the family business, but she's a competitor. She's working very hard. Her number one role is to be extension of me. So she's taking on that leadership in a lot of ways and holding herself accountable to that. So I'm just blessed to have her here.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
And we got time for 2 questions, one each from Brendan, and then James will wrap us up. Brendan, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. So I wanted to ask about your defense. The last game against Indiana was the only game that this season that you've had or that you've given up over 80 points. Despite having many new pieces to the roster, how has the defense stayed relatively similar to years past?
For sure, the buy-in, the understanding that we have a lot of great athletes who can use their athletic ability to be disruptive, but also we have really high IQ players who have picked up on our system and really have adjusted. The communication, on the court is important when you're, working with new players and learning a new system. At the end of the day, a lot of times we say just land the plane. It may not always be correct, but if they do the most aggressive thing and they're all in alignment with that thing, then what you see is a really successful product defensively. And the other biggest thing that we're doing is rebounding. So though we might have played decent defense, last couple of seasons or even last season, but we weren't shoring up the possessions with rebounds. And I think that's like the added thing, I can't think of the word, the added statistic that's helping our defense too is our rebounding.
Thanks, Brendan. And James, wrap us up.
Hi, Coach. Coach, Jewel and Skylar coming off 40 points against Chicago. How important is it when you're attacking tonight to stretch the floor and really play at a high tempo? We know Caitlin is an elite shooter, but as an elite shooter, to get her really working on the defensive end, the wear and tear in terms of your attacking, to get her off that rhythm, to make her defend more than attack tonight.
Absolutely right. Part of our game plan is to make sure she's defending on the other side of the floor. If she's going to defend Skylar, or if she's going to, be on Jewel or any of our guards, we're going to make sure she's using some energy on that side of the floor. Our offense does start, with those two, really our whole group, our starting 5, the way in which we start the game, the pace in which we start taking care of the ball and transition, those things all are going to be very key for us tonight. And, part of that scout is to make sure that that Indiana is defending, so that takes a little bit of their legs off of them on the offensive end.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you after the game, Coach.